All right, I'm gonna get going here. Welcome, everybody. My name is Brad Miller. There's so many new faces before I put it on the PowerPoint section here that I'm just really excited because we've had a really fun last few months and we decided to do something pretty exciting. We've had a lot of people decide to pay it forward and take the next step of their health journey, and we wanted to really focus on getting all of them a really good start. Here, hang on one second. I just gotta mute somebody real quick. Oops, hold on. Got it. All righty. So we've had a really fun last few months. We had a lot of people change their health. A lot of people pay it forward, decided to pay it forward this last little bit. We thought we'd focus on a training to help everyone get a really good start. So that's what we're going to cover tonight. We're going to have basically some really good content for the next 35, 40 minutes and help you just get a really good, strong start with coaching, which I'll explain a little bit more here in a second. But we did a really, we had a lot of people come in, and anyone on this call right now is probably anywhere from getting started with coaching since the new year or the big influx of people that have joined this mission of paying it forward over the last 30 days. So we've had, and hang with me tonight because when we have a lot of new people are figuring out Zoom for the first time.
On your rating and going and reading
it. That will not be the first time that happens tonight. And full disclaimer, there'll probably be someone who draws on the screen here shortly as well. So hang tight with me. All right, I think we're good. Are we good? All right, we're back to good now. So we wanted to have a training that basically would focus on getting everyone a good start. We have very simple steps for getting starting, and it's like a process. It's like your health. And you can take this to wherever you want to go, but becoming a coach was one of the best decisions I have ever made for my health and for my life, for so many reasons. And, just kind of breaking it down, it's kind of like trying to explain Disneyland to someone that's never really been to Disneyland. So, we have really simple steps to do this. And we thought with all that's been going on over this last little bit that we would spend the whole month of April on Monday nights just focusing on the basics of moving forward in health coaching and focusing on people growing to senior coach strong and doing this as a group, because anything worth doing in our community is worth doing with others. I think you guys have probably realized that are joining the group, the Facebook group, and everything else that's going on, and the health huddles that we're doing. So we thought we'd do this together. So every Monday for the next few months, or for the next month, hold on, I'm just trying to keep up with all the mutes. Guys, just a heads up, double check that you got a microphone X'd out on your phone, because if you're not on that means that you're live on the call. But you know what? This actually makes me so happy because we have a lot of people that haven't used Zoom before, and that's what's really exciting. And this isn't about being perfect. This is about growing together, and that's why I have this slide up, because it's about growing with us. So what I want to invite you guys is, I didn't know what I was doing when I first got started with coaching, but I'm so glad that I got started. It started with my health, and to be honest, I never wanted to become a health coach. I just wanted to help my wife help a few people because I know this had changed my health, but I followed the steps, and it became something I loved, and really a lot of my life has changed on multiple levels. So what we wanted to do, I'm going to try to recap this again before someone unmutes, is I'd invite you guys to spend this month with us. Basically commit to being consistent, being on these calls for the next 4 weeks, because not only will your life change, not only will it really reinforce you guys getting a good start and also getting to a strong senior coach, manager, maybe associate director level, but you're setting the tone for an amazing business and changing a lot of lives. So I just want to encourage you guys and just invite you guys for this season to just tune in, stay connected with your health coach, the person that brought you on for this entire month, and just see what happens. Because I actually something happened like that for me. I wasn't even planning on talking about this, but since sports are a big thing right now, it's not football season, is when we were just getting started, we had the opportunity to go to this football game right here. And this is something that my wife and I were really passionate about doing. And we said it was the same day as one of our first trainings that we could have gone to. And we made the decision. I know this sounds crazy. This is Oregon Duck tickets, and this is a sweet ticket. For those that don't know Oregon Ducks fan, this is like people would like beat me up if they knew I did this. I decided not to go to that football event, and it was the best decision I've ever made. Hundreds of thousands of lives have been changed since that time, and I mean, I have a life that's not even like you have no idea. Like, so just, I'm sorry to get emotional with you guys tonight, but reading all the emails that you guys wrote to me, and your health coach was really life changing for us. And that's what happens when you do this. You get to live life at a whole nother level, and just limitless opportunities are available to you. Not just money, because money doesn't bring happiness, but a whole, you can help 5 people, you can help 500 people, but you never know if you don't get started. So again, just gonna invite you guys to be consistent with us for this season and just see what happens. And so with that being said, I just want to turn over to a few people, good friends of mine that have, sat in that same spot that you're in right now, that said, what is this crazy thing? I've already gotten healthy a little bit, but let's just see what this health coaching thing is about and follow these first few steps. So I'm going to turn it over to Susan LaBelle first. She's going to be our first person that's going to share what it was like when she got started and kind of maybe sat in a situation very similar to where you were at. So Susan, are you there?
Hi, everybody. Welcome. Just want to start by saying we love you, Brad. And also just what a great decision all of you have made. And if you plug in to what's being offered, this will truly bless your life so much. And I know that we all come from a different perspective and for different reasons, but Brad asked me about 5 minutes before the call to remember back to 5.5 years ago when I chose to become a coach. And I'm like, okay, let me take myself back to why I said yes. Because at the time I was working outside the home and I had a 1 and a 3-year-old. My husband worked 80 hours a week. So, I didn't have any extra time to do anything, but I knew we were looking for something in our life. So when I think back, something like I felt like, is this really it? Like, this is it? Like, I'm living the dream, right? And there was definitely something missing. And I really, even though I went into healthcare and I was working as a dental hygienist, I didn't feel I had a lot of purpose in my day. And, raising kids can be a very thankless job, even though it's like the most wonderful job you can ever have. You do a lot throughout the day and it's just kind of go unnoticed. So, worn out, is really where I was at. And I know that I had people in my life. So I can remember when I reached out, it wasn't because I had extra time. It was because I had 2 specific people on my heart that had said to me, like, I would do this if you would coach me. And maybe you're in that situation. And one was my mom and one was my sister-in-law who had just had twins and had never had to, lose weight before. And now she actually wanted to start that journey and she wanted me to be the one to help her. So I was going to help a few people and I was actually excited that I would maybe be able to pay for my food. Like, that was actually going to be a big blessing to our family. And when that quickly kind of came into like, that was a reality for us. I can remember being like, what would it look like to bring my husband home off of overtime, even 2 nights a week to have dinner with us? That seemed like almost an unreachable goal. But I made the plan, I stayed the course, I stayed connected, and pretty soon he was having dinner with us a couple nights a week. And then it would turn into every night of the week. And then it was like, honey, which I didn't know what I was doing. He's like, do you know you're making more? And this, I never started for the money, I started for the people. Doing your like fun job that you love, and then I see you smiling and connecting and having, than you are at your like job. And I'm like, seriously? Because I always wanted to be a stay-at-home mom. It just wasn't in the cards for our family. So this allowed me, it's basically give me options, Brad, is really what it comes down to. And my goals changed over time. So, whatever your goals are, I guess you're coming to the table with, they're, we can, some dreaming big and some are just thinking about the first person they really want to help. Either way, be open to the fact that goals are going to change. You're going to be able to achieve what you put your mind to. And looking back today, Brad, I don't want to get all weepy, but, I've been able to, I don't even know if my kids remember a day when mom went to work. Like, they don't even know what that looks like. And my husband was able to retire 3 years ago and come home with us. And like, our youngest doesn't even remember a day daddy worked. And so we've been able to raise our children and retire not only my husband, but also my parents in the last, just over the course of the last 5 years. And a lot of blessings have come our way. And we just really want to offer that to more families.
Awesome. Thank you, Susan. I'm so glad you said yes to. And I remember when you were at your first training and thinking about coaching. I still remember that. So love that you took the first few steps. So I want to I'll get through this a little quickly, but I'm going to turn it over to COC. So we went from 5.5 years ago all the way down to just starting this year. So COC, you and your wife, Jamie, have paid it forward. Tell us a little about what the first few steps looks like for you and what has changed since you decided just to just to say, I want to tune in and just take these first few steps?
Can you guys hear me, Brad?
Yeah. You look lean, man. Did you get healthy recently?
First of all, yeah. I have not only just been taking care of my health first and leading with that first. Thank you for inviting me to speak on this call on behalf of health coaching. Health coaching in I would say the last 3 months has just been a blessing to our family. Not only, we were able to just follow the simple systems, and not only that was we were able to link arms with our mentors, and we were able to, help the people that really I cared about the most, which was my family. I come from a family that has, a lot of history with obesity. Um, Us Hawaiians, we say we eat whatever we see, and that's literally how we were raised. So let me go back a little bit about my story. Um, it was a monetary challenge that I was able to do and got linked up with my health coach, and I was able to get healthy. My health coach was, telling me, hey, a lot of people are asking questions. Why don't you help them? I was like, I don't know how to do this. He goes, look here, we'll sit down, we'll create a plan, we'll set you up, we'll not set you up, but we'll link arms and get you started. And I took that leap of faith with myself and my wife. We started with our first 5 clients, and I thought that was the most scariest thing that I've ever done. But you know what? Living outside that comfort zone that, you don't want to do it, you want to do it. It has helped me become a better person inside, not just for me, but for my family. The confidence level is skyrocketed out the roof. And, I didn't even know we were getting paid. I never submitted a W-9 form. I never submitted a direct deposit. And, our mentors was like, dude, what are you waiting for? I was like, oh, I thought we were just here to help people, because it wasn't about the money for me and my wife. It was the fact that we could, get the gift that was given to us and give it to people, because the health I've seen transformation for me, for my family, has super exceeded any monetary value that you could put. So my biggest takeaway for you guys, for who are just starting a health coaching business, a practice, lean in, stay committed, stay connected with your leadership team, because these veterans of Take Shape for Life that live the Take Shape for Life lifestyle will lead you and guide you to the promised land, I always say. Thank you, Brad. Thank you, Antonia, Annie. You guys are a blessing to my life. Oh, and the last thing I want to say, for us, we have full-time jobs, me and my wife. We have 5 children and a ton of sports. So I'm not going to say if there is no excuses, anybody can do this. Thank you, Brad.
I love it, man. Congratulations. And just, like you said, you're a better person. You're able to change your family. And what's cool about it, like Susan said, you don't do it for the money, but when we actually looked at what impact you were making and what it landed you financially, you're like, wow, we could have a stay-at-home mom now, and we don't have to spend so many hours, away from the home. So just options that it gives you, like Susan said. I'm gonna do one last one because I want to get into kind of covering some things tonight. But one last person that just, took those first few steps and did it beautifully is Christy. So Christy, could you share a little bit tonight, just, real quick, about just where you were and what it was like for you to take those first few steps?
Yes, thank you, Brad. Hello, everyone. So basically, the reason I said yes was I had spent, I've lost way too many friends over the years because of poor nutrition leading to disease. And I had overcome some medical conditions myself by losing my weight. And so I knew that nutritional value was huge in preventing diseases. So that was why I said yes. Basically, I was tired of saying goodbye to my friends and my family. So I did. I became a health coach. I went to national convention. I was only helping 2 people. And through the process of these last few months, I've been able to reach out to quite a few people and help them in several medical conditions and take back their life. And so for me, that is my greatest victory. I love being a health coach just for that reason. So thank you, Brad.
I love it. I'm so glad you joined. I remember you at convention just getting started, took your first few steps. Was it really as easy as we laid it out and as we lay out for people? Was it pretty simple when you just took the action steps?
It was. Thank you. I just linked arms with my mentors, Brad and John, and, they told me they didn't tell me what to do, but they suggested ideas, and I reached out to my friends one at a time and just started helping people.
I love it. Congratulations. And thank you. And I think you have a little one banging at the door there. So you might have, it's totally good. That's the beauty of it. We do this all around. We're all real people. So my co-host tonight is going to be Dawn. We're going to cover a lot of just basic things. And this is what we're going to cover tonight. Kind of like I talked about, we're going to cover a few things over these next few weeks. But we're going to cover tonight, what's possible, getting started, just to the basic information, knowing your story, creating your list, first steps of coaching, using your support for three-way Zooms and calls, why before the how, cost and programs that we offer, and how to place, what the cost of orders, and just action steps. We're going to leave every week that we do this with some clear action steps of wherever you're at in your business, just some main activity, because it doesn't take a lot of time to coach. It just takes knowing the basic steps and just taking those. So again, want to just cover some of those basics, and that's what we're going to cover tonight. And I thought I'd start in a place where we don't normally start, because like everyone said, we don't really talk about the money that much, but I do want you guys to know what's possible if you guys commit to being consistent for a season. You guys know the lives that will change and what's going to happen there. But where do you want to be 1 month from now, 3 months from now, 6 months from now? I mean, this could be anything from a hobby that brings in a lot of great income for your household, 500 to 1,000, just by changing some lives. You might not even know. We've had people, actually, COC and Jamie are not the only people in the last 2 months that was like, had to go like this. They didn't even have a direct deposit form set up, but this other person didn't even check what bank account it went. They had no idea what they got paid, but it gives people options. So where would you like to be if it was all about people and we took these steps together over the next few seasons? Your time, we don't spend time, we invest it. And you want to invest it in places that will pay off dividends for you, in the lives around you being changed, in the future for you and your family, and, for finances to create, because finances aren't what makes you happy. Just finance is what create options for you to do more of what you want to do. So this is what's possible, guys. I just want to just show you guys this. In 1 month, you guys can be making $500 to $1,000. 3 months from now, and this is all nominal, $1,500 to $3,000. And 6 months from now, who knows if you follow the steps. They're literally that simple. And, the sky's the limit with these things. So enough about the income. I just wanted you guys to know what was possible, because we get paid pretty well for changing lives. It's kind of our little secret. You have to know about it once you're in the club. First and foremost, guys, if you guys haven't, if you're so brand new and you haven't done a meet and greet yet, I really encourage you to make sure that you reach out to your support team and kind of get that fundamental, like, all right, we're getting started kind of a setup. It'll look like this. And this is not a pose photo. This is literally, we're just going to have some fun and lay out the first few steps. Set up a Facebook message so you have communication on how we're going to get started. And that's the first thing that, you guys have probably already done. Or if you haven't, make sure you say, hey, it's time for my meet and greet. I want to get started. We're ready to rock this. So make sure you reach out and do that. Number 2 is there's a welcome email you probably have. You don't really need to do anything with it. Except know that everything in this welcome email is going to be everything you need for getting started with coaching and all the links you might need. You don't need to go through and watch every single one. Again, just keep it for your records for like when you start your first client and you need a client tracker for that person, or, just this, that, and the other. Just know that it's there and you can reference it. But where we wanted to start tonight, it's all about you. Where do you, just going over some of the basics, fundamentals, starting process, because where the rubber meets the ground, or where the rubber meets the road, is helping your first few people. And that's ultimately where we're going to end up tonight. Don't mean to give a spoiler alert, but that's where we're going to end up. It's not in a bunch of things to do. It's in about changing the people's lives and what action steps do that. And one of the biggest things you can do is know how to share your story. So I'm going to turn it over to Dawn Chow, my fellow co-host tonight. She's going to share a little tips on how to share your story.
Hey, Brad, thank you, and welcome, everyone. Wow, it's amazing to see like over 120 people on the call. I love this piece about the story, because everybody's got one, and everybody's story is amazing because it's yours. And there's no one better in the entire world to share your story than you. And of course, when you're sharing something that you're passionate and excited about, it's easy to be authentic and it's easy to be excited, right? Well, I remember when I first started changing my health, and it was pretty noticeable. 2-3 weeks in, people started asking me, and I started telling my story. And, by the time I told it for about the 100th time, I kept remembering like, wow, this is the first time this person's hearing my story. So it kind of kept me, feeling that authentic excitement of what's possible in their world, because our story is beautiful. And the piece that's really powerful is that our story will awaken something in the people around us. And all of us have something about our story that the people that are noticing and cheering you on, and the people that you meet, something about what you share may resonate with them and might inspire them to take that next step and to join us on this mission. So be authentic, be excited, and know your story and practice it daily. The one thing that I really love to just share is that it's simple. The way you kind of define your story is where you were and where you are now and what you're excited about for the future. What is that going to look like? So, where you were before you decided to take the step to get healthy. Maybe you needed to lose weight. Maybe you saw a friend or a family member start getting healthy and you thought, I need that. I want that. Maybe you were healthy, but you needed healthy fuelings. You needed, healthy time management. Maybe you needed the mental part of our trilogy, that healthy mind. And maybe you needed healthy finances. So wherever you were when you decided to take that step and become part of our mission and actually take your health to the next level, that's where you begin your story, and really tangible, because what you share is going to resonate with the people around you. So where you were and then where you are now, how far have you come? What does it look like? What's your experience been? I loved the fact that people started asking me pretty much right away, and I could easily say, you know what? I feel amazing. Thank you for noticing. I'm down 10 pounds. I'm in a smaller size of scrub pants because I was a nurse. And so I wasn't hungry and hangry anymore. I felt better. And sharing those things, sharing your non-scale and your scale victories, and then really taking the focus off of ourselves and putting it on that person that you're with and asking them, how are they? What would they like to see happen in their health? And just kind of inviting them to come along with us and to even explore what it might look like, what their story might be. So that's kind of how to really create your story. And these are things that you're going to plug in with your mentor and practice. These are things, as you are, like Brad was sharing, hopping on that meet and greet and meeting your support team, you get to practice your story, because they're going to ask you, tell me your story. Tell me about your journey. Where did you start? Where are you now? What are you excited about? So every time you do that, you get to practice, you get to share your story. And, really the next step with your story is setting up those 3-way calls and, inviting people to hear what our full offering is. Brad, go back one slide real quick. I did want to just cover that really quick, because our full offering is so important. Like I said, some of you came, some of us like me, I started because I needed to lose weight. And what I didn't realize was the healthy finances and healthy mind were going to impact my life far more than I even dreamed of. And so really, like, our full offering that we have in our hand is incredible. And we can help someone take their healthy body to the next level, but really the beautiful piece is that healthy mind, and then the options and the freedoms that we can come alongside people and help them achieve really in their lives. So, okay, next slide, Brad. And the next piece of that, once you have your story, is really creating your list. And if all of you have gotten a new Coach Welcome email, and this is in that, there is a video that really walks you through it, but the list is where it all begins. And for me, my list started walking into my life before I even realized I should grab a pen and a piece of paper and write it down. So I can say one thing: if you don't have a piece of paper and a way that you're writing people's names down, please do, because one of the things I did in the beginning is I was so excited about my own journey. I didn't realize all the people that were asking me actually wanted it for themselves too. So I shared a lot about my story and didn't write anybody's names down for a couple of weeks. And can I tell you that 3-4 months later, I had people still coming up to me who maybe I'd seen at the hospital or who I'd run into at an event. And they said, hey, I really thought you were going to reach back out to me and share a little bit more, but you didn't. And do you know, my heart almost broke, because I didn't intentionally not. I just hadn't written their name down. So if I can implore you to do anything, grab a piece of paper or print out that contact worksheet that's in your new Coach Welcome email, grab a pen and take some time. Sit down, write down the top 10 people. Who would you love to share this gift with? Who would you love to see have more energy in their life, have more health, be able to get down on the floor and play with their kids? Who would you love to just have join you in this awesome community. So as you're really thinking of all those people, write their names down. Have it be a free flow exercise. Don't prejudge. There were people that came up to me and I thought they were just cheering me on because honestly, in my mind, they looked like the epitome of health to me. It would have been like a Brad Miller coming up to me saying, "Oh my gosh, you look great. How are you doing it? And what are you doing? Tell me about it." And I'd have been like, "Great, thank you." And in my mind think, there's no way what I'm doing he would be interested in. But you know what? Those were people that came back to me and said, "I really wished you would have followed up with me because I would love to have more energy. I would love to have fuelings for before, after the gym." So you guys really make a list and keep on writing. If you get past your first 10, go on to the next 10. Grab your cell phone, go through who are the people that you love and you care about. And these aren't people that you're going to be calling and reaching out to just out of the blue, but these are people that you are going to be intentional about the relationships. You're going to reach out to them in a really authentic, organic way. And, our goal is to take a highlighter, highlight those first 5 people. Who are those first 5 people that are ready, pretty soon, and get those people on the phone or on a Zoom with your health coach, explore it with them, invite them into the community, add them into the client support page so that they can be a little fly on the wall and see what's going on. They can see the transformations and then watch, they will reach out to you. And as they do, connect with your mentor on how to follow up and how to organically move that to a conversation about them and about their goals and what they'd like to create, because we don't get clients. We help awaken people who are ready and who want what we want, and we come alongside them and we help them go all out after their goals because we've got the tools to help them, and we also have the ability and the community that they can really thrive in. So,
No, Donna, I love this. Is so good because because this is so good on all of this. One, because just knowing to share your story, because if we don't open our mouths, we don't know how to share, and just knowing how to keep it short and concise. Because someone gave me a really good tip when I was getting started was just connect authentically with people each day, and you'll learn that there's people that have a need for what we have. So the next step of this is having a list, and this is a growing list. So one, first and foremost, for all you brand new coaches, just making a list of your top most favorite people that you want to help first, the easiest ones, the ones that are like, all right, these ones are simple. And even starting from the easiest out of those easiest ones. And this is an ongoing list. So the number one tool of a person that's getting a good start as we spend these next 4 weeks together, and then obviously then some, and this list never goes away, even 7 weeks later or 7 years later, I have the same thing, is it's an evolving list because people will ask you, and some of these other steps, it's all about putting them down and focusing on the next people who are getting healthy. So Don, I love that. And that is literally one of the best things you can do. And knowing that the only wrong thing to do is not to share at all. And we don't judge each day by the harvest you reap, but by the seeds you plant and by being consistent on those things. Because like Susan LaBelle, actually, this is her slide, is you guys sitting here right now, I know this might freak you out, but we all have about 300 to 500 acquaintances in our lives. And that's how I know we can get a really good start, because I myself, if you're sitting in this chair and you're saying, hey, I don't know anyone, this isn't for me, one, just throw that out. We don't have any cancer cannot do's in this season, because I did say that to Dr. A. I said that to him to his face. I said, I don't know anyone. My whole family's already healthy. I can't do this. And he just said, follow the steps, reach out. It's that simple. And I mean, it's not easy, but it is simple. And those people that that are in your life that want help, they all know friends and family too. So bringing it back once you have those two main little goals in there and you've already done your meet and greet, is to focus on the first goal of coaching, where the rubber meets the road. We don't have fancy things you got to go do. We're all just real people helping people. So number one is help your first person get started. And I know many of you guys have been coaching maybe for a month or 3 weeks, or maybe some of you are brand new coaches and you already have your CAB. We have a few people last month get their CAB and they hadn't even started a program yet. They literally ordered their health coaching kit when they started they ordered their program. And they had gotten their first 5 people getting healthy with them before they started their food. So I know that some people, you might already be above that. But again, it's always about, it's like, it's just like a breath of air. No breath of air is as important as your next breath of air. So, who are we helping next? And once you get your first person started, well, then we're going to help 5 people get started. Because not only once you know how to help 5 people get started, that's the first goal of this group here together, is you can know how to do everything it takes to be a world-changing health coach and take this to every direction you want to go. You can stop at those 5 and have that be everything you want to do, or you can go help 5 million if you know how to help 5 people. And the reason why we focus on 5 is that's your first really good compensation. That'll be about $500 your first month. And that's all well and good, but it's more about the fact that it's setting you up to know exactly what you need to do. And it's all about getting people healthy. You learn the basics. So many people want to be like, oh, I need to know all this stuff. You know the program works, and you know you care about people, and you know this will work for other people, and everything else that you need to know will get done with your health coach along the way. Because the reason why I get so excited about focusing on your first 5 is not only is it I'm a percentage, guys. For you guys that don't know, I'm a nerd. Congratulations. I just outed myself. I'm a huge nerd. Is the percentages for people that help their first 5 people in their first 30 days exponentially increases their possibilities for helping more and moving to executive director. So that's why we're really passionate about it. By the time you help your first 5 people, you're going to know almost everything you need to know. That's why we partner up with all new people that come join in. So here's some tips for setting up some of these calls and getting getting on board with some of your first few people to get healthy. One is if you're brand new, or you haven't, or if you're not brand new and you helped a few people, but you still haven't done this yet. The ideal situation is to set up a time to talk with your people that are asking you questions and your health coach. And there's a few reasons for this. One is it's super relational. This is literally a huge component because one, it makes it super easy to move things to a phone call. Hey, Dawn, you're a good friend of mine. And if I asked you to do something and you were asking me about program, you might be available next week for me. But if I said, hey, I was talking to you about my health coach, and I know you had some questions. She said she's available, or he said he was available like tomorrow night. Or are you free tomorrow night at this time? Well, then that call just became very easy to do tomorrow night as opposed to next week. And then not only that too, in the first few calls, not only do you have your story now, but you have your health coach's story. Those are 2 stories because everyone gets on the line the same way. Every one of you guys came the same way. I'm interested. Will this work for me? Is it even worth doing? And basically, when you have more people sharing, not only can you learn some of those things that help people say yes and awaken their health, but now you are doubling the amount of people that have success on a line. So it just increases the amount of success. So really, ideally, set up a call like that with your health coach. That's the first goal. And the first goal, feel free to just go sign people up. Please, I'm not stopping you, but the goal is to do 5 of them on the way to your first 5 clients. So that's a really great way to do it. Calls are a great way to go. And you want to get it from the text, the back and forth. No one got healthy on a text. Take it to the phone. And so many people will want to go back and forth and say, hey, it's all about this, it's all about that. And literally when you're all said and done, it's like 40 messages back and forth and no one's signing up that way. There's no way they're signing up. So just move it to the phone as quickly as possible. And so some of the ways that we do this, and we'll cover some of this in the next few weeks, is just by saying, I'm going to quote my wife because she's darn good at this, is, I'm just looking to find out, I'd love to tell you about it. It's worked great for me. I want to know if this program is a match for you. When do you have a second to call? I got some time later this evening, or I'm free now if you want. Just bringing it to the phone simply and easy and relationally, and then just keeping it fun too. Just the call should take 10, 15, maybe even less. I just tell people, hey, when do you have a few seconds to call? Because if we're just finding out what they want, depending on how you set up the call, I noticed a really good share takes about 10, 15 minutes. If it goes long and they have a lot of questions and you're doing it with your health coach, it might go 20, it might go 25. If they're a really close friend, those ones, we all have one of those calls that have gone really long because we're getting really connected with a friend, but they should really only take a little bit of time. And then because that way too, everyone can fit this in their life. And then comment when you have someone set up to talk, comment in your support message thread, the one I was talking about earlier, where you can just be like, hey, so-and-so is free in, heck, as little as like 15 minutes. Can anyone hop on with me? Because if not, you know what to share. You know what's changed in your health. But most likely, someone from your support team will be there to get your back and help, share the program with these people, your loved ones that are interested. So a couple other things we're going to cover tonight, just going over the basics. This is Coaching 101, is what's the cost? Just, what do we do when we help people on program? Well, I'm actually going to display this for you right now. When anyone asks me the cost, I never tell them the cost. There's a reason for that. It's not because I'm not really excited to tell them how great of a value it is we have. It's that we can't tell them what it costs until we know what it is that they want for their health. And so we have a simple way of talking about this for all you guys that are brand new, is we don't give away the how until we know their why. So Dawn, ask me a little bit, just ask me, be a typical person that says, hey, what's that program on? How much does it cost? You can be that person for me.
Yeah. Okay. So, hey, Brad, I've noticed you've been getting healthy a little bit. I just am curious, because I'm kind of thinking about getting some healthy myself. So how much does it cost? And what does it all entail? Is it like prepackaged food? I mean, just really kind of lay it on me. I just really want to know, it's like a membership thing.
Dawn, I'm so glad you asked. Obviously you've seen it's working for me. I love it. My family actually shared it with me. That's how I knew it would work. I got to really, there's a bunch of things I can tell you, but, I kind of actually boils down to your goals because we have a few different programs. Tell me a little bit about what you're looking for in your health.
Oh, wow. Oh,
Okay. So
well,
stop right there. So that's literally how simple it is. I can't tell her what it's going to cost. I don't know what plan she wants. I don't know what to answer for her until I know her why. So ideally, she would tell me a little bit about her goals and just some basic stuff. And we'll go over to this on the next week's call, or maybe the week after that, is whenever just generically, when I'm talking with someone, if I'm in conversation, if we're at the gym or we're hanging out, I might say, hey, let's connect a little later. I might just keep it really short right then and there and move it to another time. But I want to know at least 5 reasons why Dawn wants to get healthy. And I'm not going to explain anything until I really know that, she's working really hard and she's gained a lot of weight in her first year of marriage, and it's not the route she wants to go. And she's been overweight in her life, early on in her life, and that was not fun for her. And she wants to be an example of health. She's tired at work, that it's really straining on her, like that, just that she wants to remain active and be an example. I know all these different things that are going on, and I'm not going to explain anything until I know enough about Dawn that I'm going to be like, Dawn, that is so doable. And now I know what plan to offer her too, most likely. And and that's when I just connect the dots from where she wants to be and how she's going to get there. But your support team will help you do this on your first few phone calls. And if you're already beyond that step, congratulations, because I know many of you guys have already been reached above to senior coach and beyond already. That's what it looks like, is, just continue finding out about their why before you explain the how. But now that we do know the why. I do know Dawn's why right now. And I do know it because I asked her that. We weren't actually that great at back in the day. So Dawn just kind of, used our, we're a lot better at it now. But this is the value of our program, just so you guys know. Not even 9 times out of 10, 99 out of 100, we're going to start someone with what we call a fully integrated variety pack. It has our books. It has our everything it needs in it. It's got a month worth of food. And the great thing is it breaks down to about $11 a day, and it's $346.25 for the first month. And we almost always, and like I said, 99% of the time, order a fully integrated variety pack because, one, it's easy for the client. It's the one that the people like the most. You can try to pick out their food, but honestly, Dawn, you can back me up on this because you've seen it too. The ones that people think they're going to like aren't their favorites, and the ones in a million years they never thought they would like become their ultimate favorites. And plus, it changes over time. So, that's why we started with the pack. It's quick, it's easy, it gets them the best deal, and it sets them up for their entire month. Plus, keeping it about the why and not the how. I don't care about the food, to be honest with you. And I know that's a bold statement, but I want you guys to go with me right now. Caring too much about food is what got us all in trouble in the first place. So it's about locking in with that reason to get healthy and focusing on, hey, it's going to work for you. Like, hey, look at me. I'm not the most disciplined person in the world. If it worked for me, it'll work for you. And you know what? Even if you're a little bit leery, give me 30 days. What's the worst thing that can happen? You're going to lose the weight. That's the only thing you have to lose. So, that's just some of the posture that I take on it because, people that know me, they're like, well, he's not some super freak, like healthy freak. He has the same taste buds I do. He's my friend and he's telling me it's doable. Let's do this. So that's the way we get people started. And for those that are just getting started, again, I'm going to go a little bit more in depth. We're going to always bring this back to just starting your first few clients together as a team. But when people are like, oh, I want to customize my food, like, great. I do suggest that we get started with the variety pack. And if you're really adamant about, customizing some things, they let you customize up to 5 items with that variety pack. So what are some of those items that you really ideally want to try? Again, it keeps them focusing on track, and we don't spend a lot of time doing orders over the phone because we are not order takers. So congratulations for all you people who just got started. We're not order takers. We help people get facilitated on the journey. So I'm just going to figure out or say a few more things here is, one, it just replaces the cost of food. So making sure that you explain that. And your biggest example is yourself. Most of you, if you have not noticed yet, you're probably spending the exact same amount on food right now, if not less than what you were spending before. Because I know my lunches each day cost me, when I was working, cost me as much as it did to be on plan each day. So I actually saved about $200 a month. So some people, if you're really diligent on your plan, it might be cost neutral. So just knowing that that's what you want to share with people as you're going on there. Some other things here. And Dawn, I know the chat's blowing up and I can't see. Is there anything that I should hit on or I should answer on that you see in the chat?
no, you're doing great. It's just everybody's learning a lot and loving it and adding little tidbits. So it's perfect.
I love it. So the other thing I want to cover here, just basic stuff, is launching on Facebook and sharing on Facebook. As you see here, some really good examples. pictures are key. So because pictures are worth 1,000 words, and that's really the way people are posting these days. So you can do it simply, you can do it massively, but it's really, we're about living our life out loud. We're not living life at a half pace anymore. So I encourage all of you guys to just, start posting on Facebook. You can go full bore like an Abby or Grace, or you can just kind of casually like my wife did when she said, hey, down 5 pounds my first week. This is pretty stinking amazing. And just getting that out there. That first post is going to make people want to know more. And a lot of you guys have launched this week, so you know what I'm talking about. And again, just some quick tips on this stuff. Don't tell people MetaFast or Take Shape for Life on it. Just like I was talking about the how before the why, or the why before the how. Thank you, Don, for you. Yes. Is we just want to say, great, tag them and say, I'm going to send you a private message. Because one, you're going to get in contact with them and try to set up a time with them to connect. But also it makes other people want to know what you're doing. Hey, send me a private message too. Hey, I want to, like you see down here at the bottom right, hey, what is she doing? I want to do this too. Thanks. Can you send me a message as well? Those simple things. And then additionally, besides just your Facebook post, all your clients that come on, we actually have a support group. And it's vitally important that you get your clients put into the support group where you're at. And if you're not already participating heavily, participate. That's the number one place for you to go in your health, and it reinforces your journey. Plus, it's going to be where your clients go. Here's some just generic tips about Facebook as we cover just some of the basics tonight. Be consistent and have fun. And coaches that are the most successful post 2 to 3 times a day. Now, I want you guys to hang with me as I explain this for a second. I'm not talking about plastering before and after pictures up a day. I'm talking about living out loud, like posting a shake or going for a run or sharing, boldly sharing your before and after photo, and just keeping it short and simple, but healthy. That attractive lifestyle that you're already living. You're already living your life out loud. It's a little bit differently than most people do already. So just putting it out there for people to say, wow, something's different about Dawn. I notice she's happy and active and doing weird things like exercising and eating healthy. Who does that kind of stuff? It's really weird. So just being the people that do the best, post on Facebook consistently. If you haven't yet, be bold, put it out there, change your profile pics to a before and after. Make sure your cover photo, the big banner photo on your Facebook, make sure it's updated as something positive and uplifting, anything you want. And here's just some general tips on where you start, because we were talking about that list. If you have no way to reach out to that person, do you know the best way to start a conversation is to just say hi. So if you have someone that you really want to talk to and you really want to share this program with, and you're going to be consistent with us over this month, you don't have to talk to them about program. Just open up a Facebook message and say hi to them and see what happens. They might see what's going on in your world. And the worst thing is you just said hi to someone that you've been meaning to talk to for quite a long time. So again, just a tip is if you're really looking for something to do, add, message, and comment on 5 people a day that are the people you are focusing on and you want to be living this lifestyle, this healthy lifestyle with you too. Post often and with intention like we were talking about, and we already talked about the tips for responding to posts when people are asking you what's going on. And then also to this is just follow up. And we'll cover this a little bit more later as we go through the series. But lastly, and as we wrap up here, guys, is you cannot get no's when you're sharing plan with people. And Dawn, I would love, maybe you to jump in as I wrap up here is the reason why we have the contact sheet and really bringing this full circle tonight as we wrap up here is if you focus on them, they will get healthy. Still to this day, it's this first step we did. We wrote on a napkin on the way home from our first event, and a lot of those people got healthy because just like our health, what you focus on is what you create. And you can't get no's on program. So by the way, disclaimer, if you're getting no's, if you're flat out getting no's, you might be asking the wrong questions, because you can only get yeses, I'm ready to get healthy, or not yet, or I'm still thinking about it, or, that's interesting, but you cannot get no's. So really your list will be a bunch of people that are either crossed off because they've said yes, or they're saying next week, or they're a not yet, I'm still thinking about it. I'm, just an average American. I don't think this will work for me. Why would I try anything else? Nothing works for me. Why would I even give it an effort? I've tried so many times. So I just want to, if I could cement one thing in you guys tonight, besides some of these basics, is you cannot get no's. You can really not get no's. So meet people where they're at, and it takes follow-up. So being bold to ask questions and just say, leaving people with their next step. If some of these first few calls or these people that are interested, always ask always leave them with the next step. Hey, I'm so glad you asked. You know what? I'll just keep you updated on what's going on. Is it cool if I follow up with you next week on some of these things? And they'll say yes, and you'll always know what the next step is with those people. This is the last thing. I feel like a pastor this week. I'm like like 10 follow-ups. So bear with me. This is my last thought on the night, is that we're not just offering 5-in-1 to people. One, we have multiple plans besides just our 5-in-1 plan. That might be the one you're enjoying right now, and maybe you haven't seen what it's like to move to our other phases. But we're also offering a full offering of focusing on, like, I read so many of your guys' emails, guys, and I know what it's like when you were like, wow, I'm finally surrounded around positive people, and I feel like I'm on a course to actually change my life. And I am changing my health, but a lot of my other areas in my life I never thought were related to health are coming along with it, like relationships, passion for jobs, other healthy finances, whatever it is. You guys know, you guys wrote me the emails. But offering the 5-in-1 or just offering one of our nutrition's plan is like throwing someone a life preserver and not pulling them in. So, bring them into this community. Start to look for the fits on why they'd be good at health coaching. Look for the other non-health-based things or non-nutrition health-based things that might be a fit. So, Don, between follow-up and our full offering and just all the new coaches that we have here on the line or any questions that we got, would you want to say anything before we kind of wrap a pretty bow on this evening and give people some action steps for this week?
Gosh, Brad, I just love it. One of the chat questions was, what do you do if you've reached out to them and followed up a few times, but you keep getting a not yet, like it's always a not yet? And all I can say is stay consistent and be persistent and love on them, stay in their life. I had people that reached out to me and I shared with my first couple weeks on program that then reached out and became healthy a year later, some two years later, and some are still on my heart, and it's been 5.5, 6 years. So it's not that I'm going to ever stop following up with them or give up on them. I'm just in their life. And so that's what I would say there.
I love it. Anything, tips on follow-up? And I think you just actually covered is that that was a big thing right there, is staying consistent. So the biggest mentality of it, guys, is it's always asking yourself, being consistent each day so people can, notice the change in you, so you can basically plant a seed every single day. And then it's always about, who am I helping next? It's very easy with the new coaching, and I've been there too, to get focused on whoever asked the question about what if they're saying not yet, go focus on somebody else. That means that they're on the list and they'll probably get healthy soon. So maybe they'll circle back around. Always be focusing on the person that you're most excited to help next while you're layering a bunch of other people. So this week's action steps as we wrap up here today is have your list if you don't already have it. I know there's people that are brand new all the way to people that have maybe already made senior coach in their first little bit, or they're almost about ready to do this. They've been doing this for a couple months and they just got a slow start. And there's no wrong way. By slow start, I need to come up with a better word. There is no wrong way to start. There's just first few steps and you're still working on your first few steps. I think that's better. That's what we'll go with, is have your list of people, of 10 people, and a list that can be growing and a living list that you're going to be adding to. Spend time with it daily and mark it off, and just basically spend each day moving that list forward, asking yourself, what am I doing to get someone on this list healthy today? And for you, those that are busy, you can just say, well, what's my highest leverage activity to get one person healthy today? So that's number one. Have that list this week and add to it, and have it last at least 10 people on it. Number two is the first most important thing of anything, which is do your first call if you haven't done it yet, and sign up your first client this week. And I say first client and first call, but I want to encourage you guys, why not do 5 this week? 5 clients, 5 calls, maybe double that. Just start with 1, but have the intention of doing a lot more. That's why whenever we get started, you guys, many of you that have done your meet and greet, I'm always like, it's always about your first client, because you'll always remember your first client for the rest of your life. So what are you doing to get that first person healthy, and who are you most excited to help? And then do it again and again and again until you have your 5. It's always about who's next while we're plugging in the people that we just got started. Number 3 would just be an action step this week. Share your story 5 times this week. See how it feels. Just get in the habit of doing it, and just sharing it with people. When you're in conversation, asking them what's good in their lives. And they'll ask you back. Tell them that you're changing your health. Whatever works for, whatever's authentic to you. You're doing something with your health. I'm sure people want to know. And if you just have the conversations, or you have someone on your list that you want to have that conversation with, or I'm guessing people might even be asking you, or they ask you on your Facebook post, whichever one it is, share your story at least 5 times this week, just in conversation. And then last thing, just as a getting the ball rolling as we get started this week, is post on Facebook every single day this week, something health related. Get in the routine and, start branding yourself. So those are the first 4 steps I'll give you just right now. But I want to bring it back. The main one is number 1 and number 2. Do all of them, but I want you to encourage you that it's all about having a list, being mindful of who we want to help, and always asking yourself, well, how am I going to help my next person get started? Because the most direct answer to that question is where you want to spend your time. So wherever you're at right now, whoever you're thinking about, maybe you set up a time for to talk tonight. Maybe there's a quick reach out. Maybe you guys already did reach out to him while I was yammering away. But that's what I would encourage you to do. And I'll wrap it up by saying this. Dan Valentine has one of the best, greatest hearts I've ever met. And I've met some awesome people in this company. Many of you don't even know who he is, but he did the welcome video for one of the videos that's on your coaching welcome email. It basically just describes how him and his wife got healthy and paid it forward to a few people right off the bat, but then changed over 1,000 lives and went to the highest rank of our company in a year. And I want to tell you, it's not because he's a fancy salesperson. It's because he has a big heart. And he also did one thing besides all these basics. He said, all right, Doug, who was his health coach and his support team, he said, I don't think he told Doug this, but he said it to himself, and his wife and him agreed. Whatever they tell us to do, I'm going to do double and triple what they say. Because if they say this is what it takes to be successful, I want to make sure that I don't hold anyone back. So I'm going to do double what they do or triple what they tell me. So that would be my encouragement to you this week. Hopefully these are some good action steps. We're really excited to have you here. And just lastly, again, I just want to invite you guys, one, to be thinking about a couple things besides this action step. What's my most direct route on my path to my first 5 and not stopping there? And then also just want to, so that right there is just the question I want to pose to you guys to always be thinking about. And then just lastly, I just want to congratulate all of you guys for paying it forward and becoming part of our family. It's been really fun, all the people that we've been meeting and all the lives we've been changing, and together we make a really big difference. So congratulations again, and thanks for tuning in. And until next week, my biggest action step for you is to stay locked arms, be communicating with your health coach daily. Actually, that's the 5th action step of this week. Even if it's just to say, what's up? What do you have for me today? Message your health coach every single day and say, hey, I'm working on getting people healthy. Any extra tips for me? So that's tip number 5. So with that being said, you guys all have a great evening. I'm going to end the recording right here and just kind of give some kudos